Hi there, Deneen Shoemaker with your 420 minute. I want to talk today out of the book of Genesis, which is the first chapter in the Bible. And I want to talk out of a really maybe misunderstood passage and see if we can apply some maybe modern day relevance to that passage. So it comes out of the book of Genesis, and it's chapter 22, and I'm just going to jump right in. So God tested Abraham's faith, and he called to Abraham, and Abraham replied, "Here I am." And God says in this rendition, "Take your son, your only son, yes, Isaac, whom you love so much, and go to the land of Moriah. Go and sacrifice him as a burnt offering on one of the mountains, which I will show to you." The next morning, Abraham got up early. He saddled his donkey and took 2 of his servants along with him and his son, Isaac. And he chopped wood for a fire for the burnt offering, and he set out for the place that God had told him about. And on the 3rd day of their journey, Abraham looked up and saw the place in the distance. "Stay here with the donkey," Abraham told the servants. "The boy and I will travel a little farther, and we will worship there, and then we will come right back." So Abraham placed the wood for the burnt offering on Isaac's shoulders. How much do we place on our loved ones' back or shoulders with all of our expectations of them? Anyway, Abraham placed the wood for the burnt offering on Isaac's shoulders while he himself carried the fire and the knife. And as the 2 of them walked on together, the boy said, "We have the fire and the wood, but where's the sheep for the burnt offering?" "God will provide a sheep for the burnt offering, my son," Abraham answered, and they both walked on together. When they arrived at the place where God had told him to go, Abraham built an altar and arranged the wood on it. Then he tied his son, Isaac, and laid him on the altar on top of the wood. Abraham picked up the knife to kill his son as a sacrifice. And at that moment, the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven, "Abraham, Abraham!" "Yes, here I am," Abraham said. "Don't lay a hand on the boy. Do not hurt him in any way, for now I know you truly fear God. You have not withheld from me even your son, your only son." Then it goes on to talk about how the real burnt sacrifice happened. It doesn't talk about Abraham and Isaac's relationship after this incident, and I've often wondered about that. But what it does speak to in this very odd passage is idolatry. And that's the main thing I've probably been thinking about this week, is idolatry. And Webster's defines idolatry as an inordinate attraction, an immoderate attraction to something or someone. God went to extremes, and obviously had to, with Abraham, in order to show him the way that idolatry will make both the idolater and the object of idolatry suffer in that relationship. I mean, that was an extreme example, but clearly God needed Abraham to rid himself of this idolatry. His emotions toward Isaac were undisciplined. Maybe you know a parent like this. Maybe you know a child like this who has undisciplined emotions even about their parent. You know, maybe it isn't the opposite way. Maybe it's a spouse. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe you have no idolatry in your life, but my guess is you do. And so I just wanted to talk about this very strange passage today in order to give you the message that God wants us to release our loved ones to God. You know, I've been fortunate. I don't believe that I placed my child, my one and only, actual birth child. I don't think I ever really had that issue, thank God. And I think part of that is because of how my mother treated me. I didn't want to do that to my daughter, but I think I've done that to my ex-husband. I think I've done that maybe to a couple friends in my life. God really wants us to release and surrender our loved ones so that we can cling to God's hand instead. So I want you to think about what you may hold in your heart as idolatry this week. And my hope is that this has been a message that has maybe opened your eyes a little bit and helped you to see the scriptures in a little bit more of a metaphorical way. So, grace and peace. I hope this has been helpful. I hope y'all have a great week. Live your best life now. This ain't no dress rehearsal.